I got the plan for you to be a millionaire. I got the plan for you to be a star. I got the plan for you to change. Everybody has a plan for something. If you're looking to achieve something great, everything matters. Look, I remember when I was a kid, I wanted to do everything. I wanted to be a rapper. I wanted to have a clothing line. I wanted to be in movies. I wanted to be just a business owner. Anything that was creative, I wanted to do it. And for the most part, I was fairly good in many of those lanes, right? But I'm sure you've heard the saying, a jack of trades is a master of none. This is the same thing that applies in a lot of times in the things we want to do. It wasn't until I got intentional that I started to be great at what I do. And I'm still developing greatness, right? I'm not gonna say I've arrived, but that's when I started to excel in my talents and in my role, right? By being intentional, okay? Because long as I'm focusing on this and this and this and this, I'm focusing on nothing. And right now we're at a time where everything is a battle for our attention. You go on social media. I got the plan for you to be a millionaire. I got the plan for you to be a star. I got the plan for you to change. Everybody has a plan for something, and everybody's pulling at our attention. So it's very hard to focus. When we are intentional about to who we give our attention, that's when we start to become powerful. What does it mean to be intentional? Intentional means to give a conscious effort to a purpose. It means to align our actions. It means to align our thoughts with a purpose, with a goal. When you study people that have been successful and things of that nature, what you find is they are very intentional. They are intentional about what they say. They're intentional about the words that's coming out their mouth, right? They're intentional about the conversations they're having. They're intentional about the conversations they're not having, right? They're intentional about where they go. They're intentional about who they go with. They're intentional about what they give their attention to. They're intentional about how they spend their time. Some people are even intentional about what time they go to sleep. All of these things, what they eat, all of these things are important. See, because sometimes we go through life and we drift and we just kind of take life as it comes, all lackadaisical. But I'm here to tell you, if you're looking to achieve something great, everything matters. What I've learned, me personally, is I didn't just get intentional about what I want to do. I became even more intentional about who I want to be. I was for so long misguided about who I was supposed to be in life. And if you know me, if you heard me speak, I get real transparent as a young black man, especially growing up in that golden era of hip hop in the 90s and things of that nature. All of these things told us who we're supposed to be a real one. But all of that was nonsense. It was all teaching me that my destruction is where I'm gonna find my success. How can I bring destruction in my community? How can I underachieve? How can I just be disengaged with everything? That was a lie. That was a lie that many in my peer group, in my generation, we received as the truth. Then it became a time when I got wind of some information and I started recognizing that, wait, the joke is on me. I'm a part of the problem. And then I became very intentional about who I wanted to be. I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do, but I know who I did not want to be. So it started with, let me decide who I don't want to be. And what I didn't want to be was another statistic. So I said, I want to be a man that walks in his potential. Now, I don't know what that means. I started studying. I started reading every piece of information I could get on mindset and, black culture and all of these type of things, because I was being intentional about the man I want to be. I'm not saying you have to go through my process, but that's what I did. I spent years developing myself as a person, not yet clear about what I want to do. The conversations I used to have, I didn't have those conversations anymore because it didn't align with who I wanted to be. Places that I went, I didn't go to places I used to go because it didn't align with who I wanted to be. So I started to go to new places. I started to have new conversations. I started to have new company. And even before I got the new, I had to get rid of the old, which means it was this period in time where I didn't have nothing. Then I started to define what I want to do. When I decided what I wanted to do, I locked in on that. And what I'll share with you about being intentional is not just for you. When you're intentional, you also impact other people's lives. There are so many people that have blessed my life because of them being so intentional in what they do. them making sure that they show up with excellence. That's how we continue to level one another up. Because if you show up on point and I show up on point, she, he, everybody shows up on point, that's how we start to create magic, right? And it also keeps us accountable. Because now I know I got to be on my A game, because I know when he come, he going to be on his A game, right? Like, we keep each other on point. But when we show up and we're just drifting and things of that nature and nothing is important and, you know, it's good enough, or, you know, I'm always just trying to get by, that creates a culture. We're not doing that. We want to create a culture of excellence. So when I'm not showing up in excellence, guess what? The people around me is going to say, "Hey, come on, you know, we don't move like that. Tighten up." Understand that being intentional is not just good for you, it's good for the ecosystem around you. So we want to make sure that we're constantly being intentional in all that we do, because everything matters for a movement.